You expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Written by Richard Maybaum and directed by Guy Hamilton, let's talk about 1965's Goldfinger. You know, I always say what separates a James Bond film from some regular action film is the iconic moments. A James Bond film is so much more than just action. It's stylish, it's beautiful, it's a piece of art, you know, it's visuals, it's bombastic, larger-than-life music, it's larger-than-life characters and iconic dialogue, iconic visuals. A James Bond film is a work of art. It's not just action. And this film is a perfect example for that. This film creates one iconic moment after another, one stylish visual after another, one unforgettable dialogue after another. And in that sense, it's the perfect James Bond film. If you haven't ever seen a James Bond film, I highly recommend to watch this one first, because it's all in there. Everything you want from a James Bond film is in this one. And it became my favorite of them all. For the longest time, you know, my favorite Bond film was On Her Majesty's Secret Service. But then I rewatched this a few years ago and it's, was transported to my number one. And it still is. I think it's the penultimate Bond film. And sometimes we as fans, you know, we tend to forget about how great this film actually is. It's like with, let's say, a famous band or something. Let's say Queen is a band you all know. Everyone knows the band and everyone knows the song We Are the Champions or We Will Rock You or something like that. If you're a huge fan of the band and you got lots of the LPs, you probably won't listen to those songs first because they are overplayed, you know, you have heard them a million times at the radio, at some TV spot, at some soccer game, whatever. So you wouldn't listen to this necessarily at home. You know it's great, you know it's iconic, but it's overplayed. And same goes with this movie. You know, we all know it's great, but we've seen it a million times. It was on TV for decades, almost every week somewhere. It was talked about a lot, so we tend to forget about how great this film is. As I said, it's creating one iconic moment after another. Visually, the title sequence with the larger-than-life music from John Barry and the golden lighting and the color grading and everything, it's so beautiful. It's art. It's an art piece, you know? And the golden girl, Shirley Eaton, being naked, covered in gold. I mean, what a way to stage a murder scene, you know? That's very creative, and Fleming was a very creative person. I love the novel Goldfinger. But visually, you know how it's done, and the set piece around it. Yeah, again, that's art to me. And you know, the clothing, how everyone looks. Sean Connery looks his best in this film, I think. He looks larger than life, you know, what he's wearing. And the Aston Martin DB5, a work of art on its own. A first real car chase with the gadgets, very entertaining, and the template for lots of things to come. And the most important thing about this film, the most iconic thing about this film, besides many of its visuals and besides Bond himself, is Goldfinger. Played by Gerd Fröbe. It's not Gerd Frobe, you know, like many of my English-speaking friends tend to say. I think that sounds pretty lovely, but you know, among German-speaking people, we say Gerd Fröbe. And this is maybe the most iconic villain in movie history. No, it's not Darth Vader or some of those guys. In my opinion, it's Auric Goldfinger. This man is such, you know, he's Bond's opposite, pretty much. He wants to be like Bond. He wants to get the girl. He wants to win at the poker game. He wants to be richer but he's, you know, accomplishing all those things by cheating. Bond accomplishes those things by just being competent and cool and good looking. Goldfinger's none of that. He's fat, he's sloppy, he doesn't look good. Um, he's cheating at the poker game. He's paying the girls to be with him. And he always wants more. He got everything, everything. But it's not enough for him. He wants more. He's a greedy, disgusting man. And he's Bond's opposite. That's what makes the cat and mouse play between Bond and this man so interesting, so energetic. Because they are opposites of each other. And he's jealous of Bond. And even if it's cat and mouse play just happening at a golf game, a golf tournament between those two, this turns out into something bigger than just a golf match, a game, Goldfinger does it out of jealousy and out of greed. He's jealous of Bond, and that's what makes the chemistry between those work so well. And Gerd Fröbe is a very charismatic actor. The way he talks, I am so sorry for my English-speaking friends, because, the producers, they thought his English wasn't good enough or something, so they dubbed him in the English version. It's not his original voice, and that's very sad. It makes me so sad, because in the German version, he's speaking himself. It's his real voice, and it's so much more interesting and so much more charismatic than the dubbing. Every pronunciation, every word he speaks is interesting and strange and charismatic and unique. You cannot stop listening to it. He could read the telephone book to you, and it would be interesting because he's that charismatic. And they did a good job with the dubbing, but it's not nearly as good as his original voice and his way. I'm very sad for everyone who wasn't able to discover the film in the German version. So Goldfinger is, I think, the most iconic villain in movie history, and he's doing things out of greed, and that's what makes him such a disgusting man. He just wants more. That's all. It's not world domination. He just wants more. And I think that's very evil if you think about it. And the chemistry he got with Sean Connery was so energetic. I think that this is what makes it the best Bond film, in my opinion. Just the chemistry between those two. That's what carries the whole film. Everything else comes after this. It's about those characters playing a constant cat and mouse game. And it's the iconic laser scene and Goldfinger's iconic monologue there about gold and about what does he say? Choose your next witticism carefully, Mr. Bond. It may be your last. I love this. It's iconic. I know I'm overusing this word because it fits perfect to this film. So and then there are all those set pieces, those beautiful set pieces they built. The whole Fort Knox set piece is breathtaking. It looks so great. It's so beautiful in a minimalistic kind of way, and everything. That's what another thing that makes Bond films special. Everything looks a little more beautiful than in reality. It's realistic enough to be real, but it's elevated. It's a little more beautiful than it would be in reality. And that goes a lot for the set pieces in this film, beautiful set pieces. Some say the locations weren't as exotic as in other Bond films. I disagree, because for the Swiss Alps alone, this is exotic enough, I think. I mean, Bond is linked to Switzerland, as you all know, in some way. And using the Swiss Alps was a great choice. I think that looks breathtaking. I think it looks very exotic, even to someone like me who lives in Austria. It's still stunning to look at. Kentucky. I'm not from America, so maybe that has a little exotic feeling to me. I don't know what it feels like for an American, but I think it looks beautiful, the whole ranch and the set pieces, as I said, and Goldfinger explaining his plan at this beautiful set. Ken Adam, was it Ken Adam who built the set? I think so. Beautiful set piece. And then there's Oddjob, the first, no, not the first, but the most iconic henchman of the original films, I think, throwing his head and cutting off his enemies' heads, crushing the golf ball. And yeah, what can I say? That's unforgettable. Everyone knows it. The larger-than-life music, the car chase is very entertaining. The set pieces are beautiful. I love Shirley Eaton as the Golden Girl. Wasn't ever the biggest fan of Honor Blackman as Pussy Galore. I don't know why. She's strong, she's interesting, she's beautiful, but she was never my favorite. Not sure why that is. I would have preferred Shirley Eaton to play Pussy Galore. That would be amazing. I would have loved to if she had a little more screen time, I think. I don't know why. So then there's a nice funny Q scene, a little humorous moment between Sean Connery and Desmond Llewellyn. And Connery was on top of his game with this film, I think. With this film and with Thunderball, I think those are his best performances, because he got something rough about him, and rough about his face, and in the fight scenes, but at the same time I love his sense of humor. He's not overdoing it. It's not too much, but it's a very nice British understatement kind of humor. A lot of irony in things he says. And yeah, the dialogue between him and Goldfinger, it's great when Goldfinger explains his plans, and Connery admits that it's a brilliant plan. And as I said, the chemistry between those and the dialogues are so beautifully written. And yeah, as I said, Gerd Fröbe in the German version, yeah, way better than the dubbed US version, English version. And yeah, the larger-than-life music. What else can I say about this film? It looks stunning. It's a work of art. It has larger-than-life characters, larger-than-life music, beautiful set pieces and locations. Everyone is dressed to the tens, Everyone looks beautiful. And if you haven't ever seen a Bond film, this is the one to watch first. Definitely, you have to check this out. Everything you want from a Bond film is in there. And it's a pretty old film, but it aged very well. It aged very well because it's very well made. And there's something timeless about those films, The car chase, that's a thing we got in the last one with Daniel Craig in No Time to Die. And it's the same car even. So it's iconic, it's timeless, it's beautiful. And for Goldfinger, the character alone, that's worth giving it a rewatch. I hope I convinced some of you to maybe watch it if you haven't already, or give it a rewatch, and maybe you remember about the greatness of this film. It's my favorite James Bond film of them all, and I guess I explained myself as good as I hope I convinced some of you to watch it again. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, I would love that. And love the Bond community. Love you, and see you very soon.